Wow. Now, Sizzle, the plan for Sizzle was I had matching red leather pants. But Portia killed the leather yesterday. I cannot touch red, so I had to leave it to the vest. But I'm here, as excited. I cannot believe how these people get on this stage without a single note, not nervous at all, and just kill it. That's not me. I've got notes, but I'm okay. I'm here. Listen, this journey for me being on this stage has been 5 years in the making. It's been a long, hard, hell of a road, but I am here. I'm here today with you guys, and I am so excited. We're going to talk about leadership, but first, I was just a kid from little small Muncie, Indiana, trying to figure out life and deal with all the crap that life was throwing at me, trying to navigate life. And it was a fun, challenging, ugly road. While facing life head on, I had to figure out how I knew two things. One is I was going to fight poverty once and for all. I was going to get out of poverty. And it wasn't just about not having money. It was about fighting the generational curses of my family and overcoming those things and getting away from the mindset of defeat and hopelessness that surrounded us. And the second thing was about trying to figure out my purpose. I knew, like many of you, I had a purpose in life. I knew I was here for a reason, and I was here to figure out what that purpose was in order to make an impact in the world around me. And I figured that out. I actually found my purpose, and I was doing things I was passionate about. I was having fun, and I was beginning to have an impact. Thank you. I get two of them now. Awesome. So I was beginning to have an impact, and I was doing all this stuff. My numbers were great. I was meeting all the people, and I was getting recognized, and I thought I was on it. I was killing it. But something wasn't right. I couldn't figure out what it was, but my idea of success was not the right idea of success for me. And so life had its way of gently guiding me back on course, and man, it kicked my butt. I fell flat on the ground, and I hit rock bottom. Actually, I was looking up at rock bottom. And I found myself lying on a couch. I don't know how I got there. I don't know how long I'd been there. I don't know when I last ate a meal or took a shower. I found myself struggling with depression and fighting for my life. I remember trying to fight my way back out of that. I remember those dark days. And I remember that I had to find a reset button. And I had to remember two things. That I was trying to fight a generational poverty, and I had to overcome what our family had been struggling with for years. And I had to remember my purpose. I had to get back on focus with my purpose and what I was here for. So whether you're here today trying to start a new business, or you're trying to grow impact in your current business, or you're just trying to figure this whole life thing out and start from scratch, I believe that that's all tied to what your personal mission is and understanding your purpose in life. I think it's all connected. And not just about trying to find success, but survival as well. For the next few minutes, we're going to talk about defining your purpose, understanding your personal mission, and defining your and basically discovering your principles. So, my name is Micah Maxwell, and I believe that we are better than our worst days. I believe that we are not defined by those days that have us at our worst, but that there is enough in our future, enough in our hope for us to be able to make an impact in the world around us and live a life of fulfillment and a life of impact. And that's really what it's about for me. Purpose helps you show up. It helps you show up for yourself. It helps you show up for your clients and the people that you serve. Purpose helps you square off in a fight against imposter syndrome, toe-to-toe and nose-to-nose. It helps you to be able to walk into rooms and on the stages that you could only dream about before, with a sense of confidence that empowers you. Purpose moves you from being that little fish in a little bowl that Julie talked about yesterday to that huge fish in that giant sea, and you are a contributing and fully functioning member of your ecosystem. I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach with this session. We're going to do a little activities, little workshop here, and I'm going to have a few goals for you with this session. One is that you walk out of here with either confirmation or curiosity about where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. And I want you to know that you're on the right track or know where to focus your attention. So we have 3 exercises. They're going to be focusing on developing your personal mission, defining your personal values, and discovering your personal impact. Now, just a quick question. Who likes to say no to great ideas, fun projects, and ideas of tons of potential? Who likes to say no? Okay. So who likes to say yes to committing to one more thing when you're already overwhelmed and overcommitted and you just don't have any time in a day? Who likes to say yes? Okay. All right. So most of us don't. Saying yes and no to the right things is tied directly to purpose and personal mission. I'm going to walk you through that and help you understand. So think about it. What tools do you use to say yes or no? I'm going to call this a yes or no factor. Do you have a tool that you use? Is it just personal intuition? Think about that. What is your yes and no factor when you commit to stuff or say no to stuff? That's very important. One of the foundational superpowers of personal mission is knowing when to say yes to the right stuff and no to the wrong stuff. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to teach you this superpower in developing your personal mission. So I'm asking you to do is pull out a fresh, clean sheet of paper for this exercise, or open a new note on your tablet or your phone. I'm going to give you a few prompts, a few questions I want you to respond to. When you respond to these, I don't want you to think in terms of copywriting and making it perfect and professional, having all the right words, rhyming and all that. Just brain dump. Just write on the paper what comes to your mind. We'll find time later to make it perfect, and I know you guys will. So just by show of hands, who has a mission statement for the business they work with or work for? Who's got a kind of idea of a mission? You know what you're doing. You got something written out, some values and things like that. Okay. Forget about that. Set it aside for this exercise. Set it aside. This is not about that. This is about you. I need you to separate yourself from that. Put it to the side. This is about you and your personal mission statement. Trust me on this. Don't think about what you do in your business. Don't think about who you work for, who your clients are. This isn't about that. We're not doing customer avatars and stuff like that right now. This is about you and your personal mission, okay? All right, so again, I'm going to give you a statement. I just want you to write down what comes to your mind, okay? So my community or world needs people who, ... My community or world needs people who. And for your people, for your community, think about, and this is from the Maxwell International Dictionary, think about the people, groups, organizations, and societal structures by which you engage and surround yourself, both physical and virtual. So the world or my community needs people who, ... Again, we're not going to get into all the special words and try to make stuff rhyme and all that. Just jot some stuff down. Scrappy. All right, next. I believe that. What is that? I believe that. And think about beliefs along the lines of, here's a belief action-packed statement. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those are some beliefs packed in there. So I believe that. Get a couple bullet points, a couple ideas, nothing major. Hey, my virtual team, you guys, I've got a worksheet that you can download. You may have access to it already. And I'm going to share it with you guys as well as a worksheet that you can actually use for this. But for here, I just want to be scrappy with it and just get it down. Causes that I care deeply about are. Causes that I care deeply about are. What are the issues that stand out most in your mind? What are the ideas that you care about? What are the things that you donate your time and money to? What are causes that you care about? Matthew, am I moving too much for you? Am I good? I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. I got to sizzle. That's that word she used, sizzle. I'm taking this silence as you guys are really thinking hard and jotting stuff down. Okay, awesome. I know it's morning session, but I'll take a morning session over an afternoon session any day. All right, the skills and qualities I have or want to develop to share with my community are. So these are skills that you already have or skills that you want to develop. It's like speaking on a stage may not be a good skill. Well, it may be necessary for you, so put that down as something you want to develop. The skills and qualities I have or want to develop to share with my community are the people I am most passionate about serving are. The people I am most passionate about serving are. Now remember, this isn't business related. This is you. What are you passionate about? These are questions I want you to think hard about for yourself. Now, for this, these people may make you uncomfortable. It may intimidate you. You may not be comfortable around them. So there's going to be people you actually are comfortable around. It could be people that intimidate you. But just don't think about the perfect world. But the people that you are most passionate about serving are. And then here's all those questions on the same slide if you want to grab a quick snapshot of that. So the community or world that needs people who, I believe that, causes that I care deeply about are, the skills and qualities that I have to share are, the people I am most passionate about serving are. And so those are those prompts that I want you to have some stuff for. And we're going to work through this a little bit. So who besides me grew up watching Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? I love me some Mr. Rogers. I love everything about the show. I spent some quality time in the neighborhood of Make-A-Believe. Trust me. I love that. I watched a couple, I think it's been a couple years back, the movie that Tom Hanks starred in, It's a Beautiful Neighborhood. I love that movie. I watched Tom Hanks on an interview with Ellen DeGeneres, and he was talking about what it took to become and take on the persona of Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers. And there's a phrase that he used to explain the character of Mr. Rogers that just, I've been attached to that phrase since then. It just blows my mind away. He used the term aggressive generosity. Aggressive generosity. Who else heard that interview? Anybody? Aggressive generosity. Watch that interview. You can Google it. Tom Hanks, Mr. Rogers on Ellen DeGeneres or something like that. Aggressive generosity. When we hear the word aggressive, we think, oh, that's a bit much. Calm down. But you add your generosity to the end of that, it totally changes the mindset. Some of that stuff Tamara was talking about yesterday about, do you know who I am? But there's a passion, there's a generosity, there's a kindness attached to that. And I just love that. What do you all think, and you can shout something out if you want to, what do you all think would be included in a personal mission statement for Mr. Rogers? When you think about Mr. Rogers, what do you think about? Kindness, what else? Connection, inclusion, what else? Empathy, integrity, values. What's that? Listening. Great cardigans and shoes. Did you guys know he was colorblind? I learned that. I was like, what? You got the bright. I couldn't wait for bright red sweater day. That was the best day ever. I love that. And he had a sweater with a dark zipper to it. I love that day as well. That just made my day. I'm telling you, I love me some Mr. Rogers. So he's got on his website, they have listed his personal mission statement, or what would be described as his personal mission. I want to help children grow as confident, competent, and caring human beings. I want to help children grow as confident, competent, and caring human beings. Those are his words. Isn't that awesome? Like that's him. Totally. Nothing about that. Doesn't surprise me. So I want you to think along the lines of what your mission statement, if you had a few extra minutes to package it real nice and make it sound real nice, have all the right words and the commas in the right place and all that, what would it look like? So that's one part of your assignment. Again, I have a worksheet for you. You'll be able to download and actually work through that a little bit more. I'll share with you my personal mission. I want to help encourage, equip, and empower leaders to better their lives, their influences, and their communities. And that statement has been largely unchanged for the past 20 years. What drives me is leadership, what drives me is connection, what drives me is communication, but really it's about empowering those to impact their own selves and their own influences and the world around them. And that's what's driven me for so long. So we're going to transition a little bit. We're going to talk about principles. So how many of you have ever been on a golf driving range or any kind of range and you see in a far out distance these red and white barber poles? Those barber poles are basically telling you don't hit your ball farther than there and don't hit your ball farther than there. On a rifle range, don't point your weapon farther than there. And it's for safety and all that. And if you've ever been hit by a golf ball, you desperately understand the importance of left and right limits. And on a military range, it is equally as important, and it's a matter of life and death. So it's very important that we understand the left and right limits. And I think about principles as our own personal left and right limits. I think about that does guide to help us along the path where we decide it's important to us. So we're going to develop the idea of those personal values today. When we talk about personal values, it's important to understand that those values should be firm, but they can also grow and change as we grow and change as well. So for your personal values, we're going to walk through another exercise. Let's see here. Check my notes. Am I forgetting anything important for you guys? I don't know how they do it without notes. That's not me. That's not me. Okay. So for personal values, think about the idea of a young couple. Let's use a young couple, for example, that had decided that they want to practice abstinence in their relationship. So personal values for them probably would have to include something that would talk about not being able to sit on the couch with the lights down low late at night watching Netflix. They may have to think about lines of what are those left right limits, because some of y'all know what happens late at night with the lights down low watching Netflix, right? So, or we can talk about personal values, can talk about that person that's trying to overcome bankruptcy and debt. And in those personal values, they need to think about, maybe right now, no new debt may be something that I have to think about, at least for right now. I got to get my things figured out. So personal values include some stuff like that. So for the first thing we want to do is we want to do some reflection. Step one is reflection. And I've got a series of questions I want you to go through for reflection. But really, values is about understanding what's important to you. And so I can start with this. So what makes you smile? What things make you smile uncontrollably? What things make you angry? That isn't uncontrollable. It makes you cry without explanation. What memories are the most vivid to you? What experiences do you savor? Start thinking about those things, jot those ideas down, and then we're going to get to step 3. We're going to start pulling some themes out of those. So, what makes you smile? Besides me standing on stage talking about Fred Rogers. So think about that, and think about what makes me cry. Just write down 1 or 2 things, and we'll come back to that. Personal reflection is a huge part of understanding your values, your personal values, and your principles. Okay, let's transition a little bit. Step 2 is personality assessment. And there are a number of really good personality and type assessments. We just had a little exercise earlier talking about some Enneagrams. My two favorites right now are Enneagram and the PI, or Predictive Indicator Behavioral Assessment. Those are my favorites right now, but I change time to time which are my favorites. But the key with personality assessments is you get a chance to learn a lot about yourself. Now, just by show of hands, who's taken a personality assessment of any type, and you're like, yep, that's me? Anybody done that? Yeah, that's me. Okay, so personality assessments are not about you. So newsflash, personality assessments are not about you. They're not about us. It's not. I'm just going to say that. People don't, it's unpopular opinion. Listen, personality opinions help you to understand yourself, understanding how you're wired, how you work with others. But to say, yep, that's me, and walk away, that's not the way, that's not what they're for. It's about improving yourself and improving how you communicate and interact with others. But just to say that's me, y'all got to deal with it, that doesn't do us any good. So save your money and don't do those assessments. But seriously, I want you to do assessments and start to learn yourself and see those trends and like, yes, that's me. But now, because I know that, now what can I do to improve how I communicate with others, how I engage with others, and how I lead others, okay? So looking at your personality assessments and pull out themes of those. And step 3 really is, now we start to write out our values. Look for themes. You're transparent with yourself. Personal values can be a mix of aspirational and experiential, so things you've been through. They can be about holding yourself accountable. I do this knowing that I'm getting there, I'm work in progress, which is totally fine. And then you can use bullet points, or you can write out an entire manifesto if you want to. I used bullet points, and I'll share mine with you. And these were hard fought and hard lessons learned to get here. Some are aspirational. Some are things that I've been through that I know that I know that I know. And I could teach about these all day long. So I want you to, now you've got your personal mission that you're going to work on. You've got your personal values that you're going to work on. And then we're going to transition, and we're going to look at how we impact the world around us. So I always get frustrated when I hear people, I see stuff that talks about the definition of success is, and then ... Everybody's got their own definition of success. And in reality, everyone has their own definition of success. What success is for you is totally different than what success is for you or for me. And we have to understand that and appreciate that, okay? Now, but I do think that success is tied to our purpose. I think success is tied to how we impact and affect the world around us. I think that my success is tied to your success, even though it's not the same, okay? So I just want to think about that. And one of my favorite Mr. Rogers quotes, staying in that theme, is imagine what our real neighborhoods or our communities would be like if each of us offered, as a matter of course, just one kind word to another person. And I think about that, when I think about success, that would probably sum up what success looks like for maybe Mr. Rogers or other people. Are people being kind? Are they offering some kindness in this world? And you all know we need some kindness in this world right now. So the next step, the next exercise, and it's more of a thought exercise for you all, because we don't have time to spend a lot of time on this, and working with coaching, I would spend time over a series of weeks working on understanding this part and discovering this. But it's discovering your public impact. And there are two key areas I want you to think about. One is your intentional leadership. And this is stuff that we are already kind of accustomed to. This is our communication, our team building, our leadership building exercises, strategic planning, succession planning, and all that. We can always do better at this, but this is an intentional side of leadership. And there's the impactful side of leadership, the impactful. Not just the people around us, but it's the greater impact in the world around us. So there's 4 things that I tend to talk about is create, be, give, and do. create, be, give, and do. So create things that can make a difference. Be the person that you want to follow. Give things that are meaningful and do things that you wish others would do. And there's a whole lot, I think, that goes into those. But I think the biggest key for me is that you figure out what it is that's important to you from your personal mission and what your values are, what's important to you from your values. And you find a way to create, be, give, and do. And you do that now. You can do it now no matter where you're at in your business, no matter where you're at in your life, no matter where you're at with your family. We can always be, give, create, and do something to impact that world around us. So I have a worksheet that I have available for you guys, and I would encourage you to spend some time on it, or you can get it from micahmaxwell.com/purpose, or you can. It's also a link in my bio on for those that already follow me on Instagram. I'll get that link on there, and I want to leave you with this. So Mr. Rogers talks about imagine a world where people would be kind and leave kindness in the world around them. And I think about that, especially in this room, and I think about imagining a world where communicators spoke with compassion and they persuaded with integrity. I see that in this room. I hear that in what we do here at Marketer's Heart. And imagine a world where marketers work daily doing what you guys do, doing the right things for the right reasons with unquestionable integrity. And I see that. I see that in you guys. I hear it in the conversations. I see it in the chatter online, and that's something we don't see and experience in any other setting. Like, this isn't normal, and I love that. And imagine a world where creators serve their clients with unapologetically high standards. It's like, these are my standards, and if these are too high for you, then we're not a good match. And I love that. I love that. Imagine a world where the community passionately cared about and supported each other. And I see that in this environment, in this world. And then imagine a world where you gave yourself permission to say yes to the right things and no to the right things. Imagine a world where that community was. And this is that world. I think this is us. I think this is you guys. And I appreciate all that you guys do. And I appreciate being here. And this was so much fun. Thank you.